In the heart of the city, nestled in a quiet corner of Greenwood Park, there was a bench. It wasn't special in any way, just weathered wood and iron, facing a pond where ducks paddled lazily. But for the regulars, this bench was synonymous with one person, an old man named Arthur. Every single day, without fail, rain or shine, Arthur would arrive at precisely 9 a.m. He'd sit, hands folded over his cane, and watch the world go by. He never read a book, never listened to music, never seemed to be waiting for anyone. He just sat, a gentle, almost melancholic smile playing on his lips. People had their theories. Joggers would whisper that he was a retired millionaire, reminiscing about his lost fortune. Young mothers believed he was a lonely widower, waiting for a ghost. The kids, with their wild imaginations, thought he was a retired spy, guarding a hidden secret right under the bench. But no one ever asked. It felt like intruding on a sacred ritual. Arthur was a part of the park's scenery, as permanent as the old oak tree that shaded his spot. He'd offer a quiet nod to passers-by, a soft hello if they caught his eye, but he remained an enigma, a silent fixture in their daily lives. One breezy autumn morning, a young woman named Clara sat on the opposite bench. She was an artist, always searching for inspiration in the mundane. She'd been sketching the park for weeks, and Arthur had become a recurring figure in her notebook. She'd drawn him in charcoal, in pencil, in watercolor, trying to capture the story hidden in the lines of his face. Today, her curiosity finally outweighed her hesitation. She packed up her sketchbook, took a deep breath, and crossed the small path that separated them. "Excuse me," she said softly, her voice barely a whisper above the rustling leaves. Arthur looked up, his pale blue eyes clear and welcoming. "I hope I'm not disturbing you." He shook his head, gesturing to the empty space beside him. "But not at all, my dear. Please sit." Clara sat down, feeling a little nervous. I see you here every day," she began. "I'm an artist, and I've always wondered what brings you to this specific bench." Arthur's smile widened, reaching his eyes. He didn't seem surprised by the question. In fact, he seemed to have been waiting for it. "This bench," he said, his voice raspy with age but warm as honey, "is where I first met my wife, Eleanor." He pointed a slightly trembling finger towards the pond. "It was 60 years ago. She was feeding the ducks right over there. She had this big floppy hat and the most incredible laugh I'd ever heard. I was so nervous, but I knew if I didn't talk to her, I'd regret it for the rest of my life." Clara listened, captivated. The park suddenly felt different, imbued with a history she never knew. "So I walked up to her," Arthur continued, "and I used the cheesiest line imaginable. I asked if she had a license for those ducks because she was driving me crazy." He chuckled, a deep, rumbling sound. She rolled her eyes, but she laughed, and we sat on this very bench and talked for hours. We talked until the park keeper told us it was closing time. "That was the beginning," he said, his gaze distant, lost in memory. This bench became our spot. We had our first date here with a picnic basket she packed. I proposed to her right here on one knee with a ring I'd saved up for months to buy. When we had our son, we brought him here for his first outing. We'd watch him chase the pigeons and laugh until our sides hurt. He paused, taking a slow, deep breath. The past was so vivid, it felt like he was living it all over again. Through all the years, through all the ups and downs of life, this bench was our anchor. When I lost my job, she brought me here and told me we'd get through it together. When she was sick, I'd bring her here on good days, and we'd just sit, holding hands, not needing to say a word. It was our sanctuary, a place where the noise of the world faded away, and it was just us. His eyes welled up, but he wasn't sad. It was a look of profound love and gratitude. She passed away 5 years ago, Arthur said quietly. The silence in the house was deafening. For weeks, I didn't know what to do with myself. I felt lost, adrift. Then, one morning, I just came here. I sat on our bench. And for the first time since she was gone, I didn't feel completely alone. He looked at Clara, his expression one of gentle understanding. Coming here isn't about mourning her, it's about being with her. I can still hear her laugh in the wind. I see her smile in the sunlight glinting off the water. I feel her presence right here next to me. He explained that sitting here, he replayed their memories. He remembered their arguments over silly things, their shared dreams, the way she'd hum a little tune when she was happy. Each day, he'd focus on a different memory, a birthday, a holiday, a simple Tuesday afternoon. It was his way of keeping her vibrant, of keeping their love story alive. The bench wasn't a monument to loss. It was a living library of a beautiful life shared. It was his daily pilgrimage to the heart of their love. Tears streamed down Clara's face, but she didn't wipe them away. She was profoundly moved. The mysterious old man wasn't a spy or a lonely millionaire. He was a keeper of memories, a guardian of a love that transcended time and space. He wasn't waiting for a ghost, he was enjoying her company. His daily ritual wasn't one of sadness, but one of celebration. Clara took out her sketchbook again. "Do you mind?" she asked, her voice thick with emotion. "I'd like to try a new sketch." Arthur nodded. "I'd be honored." This time, she didn't just draw an old man on a bench. She drew Arthur, but next to him, she sketched the faint ethereal outline of a woman with a big floppy hat, laughing as she tossed bread to the ducks. She drew a story, not just a person, a story of a love so powerful it had made an ordinary park bench the most sacred place on earth. From that day on, Clara often joined Arthur. She wouldn't always talk. Sometimes she'd just sit and sketch, feeling the quiet magic of the place. The joggers and other park-goers noticed. They saw the young artist and the old man sharing a space that was no longer just a bench, but a story. The whispers stopped, replaced by smiles of understanding. They finally knew why he was there. Arthur wasn't just sitting on a bench, he was keeping a promise. A promise to never forget and to always, always keep their love alive. Thank you for watching. If this story touched your heart, please like, share, and subscribe for more content that celebrates the beautiful connections in our lives. See you next time.